Chasers Podcast. Coming to you live and direct with your host and your moderator, Kevin L. Warren. This is a real sports podcast for real fans.
Yo.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast. I don't know why everybody else is not on the screen. There you go. We got one person.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also, at the sound of my voice, give us that 5-star review on the podcast side and also on the Spotify side, man. And hey, welcome. Good morning. I know it says Gridiron rundown November 26th. That's the wrong date, of course. It's the 20th, I believe. And good morning, D-Dub. Happy Monday morning to you. I know we usually do the show on the evening, but we have to do it here in the morning.
Man.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, yo. Everything's good. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that date issue up here, but we'll get it together.
We'll get it together. The DA from remotely in his phone, as y'all can see, I am remote also. DA, what's up, brother? How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good. I'm sorry to the whole world. Yeah, I had everything kerfluffled in my mind, man. But we're gonna take care of everything. Just gotta get my dog. When I say my dog, I don't mean like a hip hop term. I mean like my dog. To the vet.
Get the dog to the vet.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. When we say life happens.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Life happens, bro.
And we still trying to do it. So let's go.
Still trying to do it. Content is king, right? All right, it's the Gridiron Rundown College Football Edition, Week 12, and we'll start with the Louisville Cardinals against the Miami Hurricanes. That game was down in South Florida this past Saturday. Louisville prevails 38-31. The Louisville Cardinals are now 10-1. The Miami Hurricanes are currently 6-5. Read this from the AP. Louisville left with Schellenberger trophy. Left with the Schellenberger trophy. The Cardinals now can eye a bigger prize. Jack Plummer threw 3 touchdown passes. The last of them to 58 yards to Kevin Coleman with 4:17 remaining. And number 9, Louisville hung on the last second clinch a spot in the ACC title game by beating Miami 38-31.
To begin tonight's investigation.
Since DA's got talking, DA, your thoughts on the Miami and Louisville game?
Miami is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, because they played a heck of a game, and they had so many stinkers this year. You kind of wonder, like, what's going on? Like, so Cristobal doesn't have. I'm not going to say does or doesn't, but they're not a consistently playing team on both sides of the ball, but have excellent talent. And it's going to be weird because Miami is probably going to have a lot of pros come off of this team over the next 2 years because of the amount of talent, running back, defensive line, linebackers, wide receivers that they have. And they play excellent games at times. And then they'll have the stinker. Like, they didn't actually have any stinkers. They were up a portion of this game as well. But Louisville is just a better team at this point, and they caught them and kind of walked them down. But believe me when I tell you, don't say that the Hurricanes suck, because they don't. Like, they have a really good team. I just don't believe that those kids know that they're a really good team, because they don't play like it every week.
Let's do it by the numbers. Plummer was 24-37, 308 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception. Miami the Hurricanes quarterback Van Dyke, he was 24 for 39, 1 TD. One thing I will say about this Miami team, you said, well, not Miami, but you was talking about Louisville. But I'll say this about Miami. I think the expectations were higher, and it's a little disappointing that they finished 6-5. Well, they got one more game. They got one more game left. Could be 6-6. They're bowl eligible, so they'll go to somebody's bowl. So we'll see. D-Dub, your thoughts on the Cardinals?
They might make it down to the Bahamas Bowl down here in Charlotte. So yeah, man. I mean,
gonna be there.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, and I heard that bowl was supposed to be in the Bahamas, of course, but they're having some
construction issues
and stuff like that. So the city of Charlotte has said they will take upon the Bahamas Bowl.
Well,
UNC Charlotte said it has. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. UNC Charlotte. Sorry.
Yes, it will be at Jerry Richardson Stadium.
That's a hell of a disappointment when you think you're on the Bahamas, you end up in Gatlinburg Road. That ain't
Don't try, huh?
yeah, you know.
Across the street for the light rail.
You out there at Tuckasegee Rec playing the game. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. That ain't hot.
Hey, but yeah, man. From the looks of it, Miami was playing pretty good in this game, and then I don't know. I guess second half could not score enough points. Scored 10 points in the second half. So again, you got to put some points on the board. Louisville came out, put some points on the board in the second half, and that was a wrap.
Adjustments.
Correct adjustments. You mentioned Plummer, 308 yards, 3 TDs, one interception. Pretty steady game. Only one mistake with that interception, but yeah, it goes back down to adjustments, and that's it. And you said disappointment for Miami. Yeah, they started off looking pretty good, and
that loss against Georgia Tech though.
That really
that just
put the nail in the coffin right there.
Yeah,
and 6-5 is what they are right now. And Louisville 10-1, solid team, and they'll go to somebody's bowl.
Absolutely.
Good.
I'm sorry.
Georgia Tech is always. I'm sorry. Georgia Tech is always going to be a well-coached team. Like they're always going to be a good team, and they're always going to do what they do. So I can't knock. Like we just talked about, Kevin. You got on me all weekend. The other team practice too. We just can't go out here and say because we're this team and we're Miami, we're the U, we should win. That's no longer true because everybody practices, everybody plays, and the NIL has evened the playing field for a lot of the Georgia Techs of the world that may not get the same type of players that say in Miami would, usually get, but they're getting because you know what? They're getting a check in Georgia. Right? Or they're getting an opportunity, which is I'll say that bigger because that's the bigger thing with the transfer portal. So it's not just NIL, it's transfer portal as well, where kids that would stay in the past at a Miami are now leaving. They're because you know what? They don't have to be there. They can go somewhere else and play. Operative word is play. Whereas, back in the days, the Alabamas, the Miamis, the Florida States, the Floridas were stockpile players. So the reality is that Georgia Tech will have, probably more players than they used to have because kids are like, I'm not staying here. I'll transfer from Alabama to Georgia Tech to play.
Right.
So, it's even in the playing field, believe it or not, for the bigger games. Now, the thing that we have an issue with, and I know Darryl does, of course, is the way the games play out. And that's due to scheduling, not actually players on the field. That's because the schedules are done 3 years in advance. We've talked about how these schedules go, but that's a whole different show. We're talking about big teams, giving smaller teams money to play on their, that's a different show.
Hey, let me ask you a quick question. And that's in regards of Louisville, off of what you're talking about. Does Louisville play Florida State?
They'll play them in the in the ACC championship.
The ACC championship game, right? Yeah. And then after that decides who gets bowl games.
But I think. I guess
if Florida State gets knocked off by Louisville, what?
Oh, that Louisville's not going to a big bowl.
Okay.
But I don't think the way they talk about it. And I'm a conspiracy theorist, so when you hear guys talk about these things, you're like, this is weird. But they've already started to talk like whatever Florida State did this whole season really didn't mean a whole bunch. So I don't know if they're going to let, Florida State go to one of the, even though they're ranked in some polls 3 or 4 or maybe in some 2, number 2, I still don't think the way they're talking that they're going to let the ACC in, right? And I have another political.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't believe that Florida State is.
I think Florida State's good. I think they are. They're probably the only team, in my opinion, outside of the SEC that has a chance to beat Georgia. Because they're built physically like a SEC team, like they're big kids. But at the end of the day, I don't think that shit's gonna happen. So I don't because of this is the last year of the Pac-10, and they're gonna let Washington State, one of them motherfuckers in. Excuse me, Ma, sorry, but yeah, they're gonna let one of those Pac-10 schools in because of, what's the word, Kevin? Nostalgic reasons.
Nostalgic reasons. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Washington is going to be Washington or Oregon will probably make it, and they'll get there and get smashed and get their helmets broken playing against one of those schools, another school. So yeah.
All right. So
Stop it.
Let's move on as DA is taking care of his dogs. Let's move on to Michigan against number 3 Michigan against Maryland. Another coach. So let me just read this from the AP. Michigan's milestone day nearly turned into a nightmare when the Wolverines finally secured the program's 1,000th victory. Players posed with signs commemorating the accomplishment. Suspended coach Jim Harbaugh was absent, of course. There's no doubt in my mind that we head back to this airport. He's going to be there waiting for us. Defensive back Mike saying Summerstill said we'll probably take 10-15 minutes to take another picture. So as Michigan was going through the legal ramifications of Coach
He was in
Harbaugh,
the hotel. They said that during the game.
he was what?
He was in the hotel.
Okay, yeah, but he wasn't in the game. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disputing that. I think the whole thing is crazy or whatever the case may be. But let's get to the game though. Let's check the game. So, and if you saw this game, I watched this game. Michigan went up big early, was 16-3 in the first quarter, and Maryland was fumbling and stumbling and all that, and Maryland almost had an opportunity to win this game. Let's go by the numbers from the passing here. McCarthy, he was 12 of 23, 141 yards, 0 TDs, through an interception. But Michigan's thing was their running. Corum, he was 28 for 94 yards. Edwards was 11 for 39 yards, and they just ran the ball well. They controlled the clock, but it during the end, it almost cost them. Well, of course, Maryland didn't come up big in the fourth quarter. Had an opportunity to, but didn't. I'll give it to the DA. Your thoughts on Maryland and Michigan and Coach Harbaugh?
Listen, it's Michigan did what Michigan does, which is run and be more physical than Maryland, and they did that, and they did that well. And I don't even think it was an issue that they were going to have a problem in doing so, right? Because that's what they do.
Right.
Not a bad team, and I think it might have been a good showing, I would say, for younger Tua, to kind of show folks that he can play. I'm not sure if his I'm not sure of his pro prospects at this point in time, to be totally honest with you. But, I think that younger Tua can play, has good receivers, and there were some chinks in the Michigan armor, per se, regarding, catches caught, some tackling, miscues during the game. But this is college football, and it's not the NFL. And I watch the NFL dudes missing tackling. So it kind of is what it is.
Yes.
But I think that, Michigan I think there's going to be a better representation of the Big Ten if, and this is a big if, they make it to the College Bowl, because regardless of the talk, I cannot see two teams from the Big Ten making it. So we're not going to have like Ohio State and Michigan making it. Because I remember a few years ago where they had, both Alabama and Georgia making, and cats are having a fucking fit behind that happening. So,
Well, next year they'll get their wish because there'll be 8 teams.
Well, yeah, next year they're gonna have 8 teams now.
So
wait, we doing 8 teams next year?
Yeah, 8 teams next year. Yes.
See, we just keep
more
it up.
More bowl games, more money.
Yeah.
Okay. So not only will you have the Bahamas Bowl, you'll have the Trinidadian Bowl, you have the Jamaican Bowl, and you might have the Dominican Republic Bowl. So
yeah,
get ready.
It's about getting the paper, and they're going to do that.
Yeah,
have more bowl games, but I think, what folks will argue you two guys on will be, listen, well, if we do that, we get. Is that my keys right over there? Oh, okay, now I got my phone. If we do that, do we, and we bring in more teams, it makes more money, but does it actually make for a better, bowl game situation for all? I just think the point is that if we do this with all these extra bowl games better be good. Games had better be good.
Yes.
You're betting money that, we're going to have more games, and it doesn't matter having more games, guys. It has more good games. The problem
quality games.
Yes. And also, what's the other collateral damage of this? Does this really hurt the rest of the other bowl games? Like, does it make it so that nothing else matters, guys?
Right.
Because listen, if we do this, right, if we have all these games, right, this is what we're doing, right? What we are not going to have.
As Dorian backs out the garage.
Yeah.
And now we lost him.
Jesus Christ.
Let me move on to Georgia. And this game wasn't even close. Georgia against Georgia versus Tennessee. I mean, we picked it because Georgia's just #1. They manhandled the Vols from Tennessee 38-10. This game wasn't even close. Top-ranked Georgia made a little bit of a Southeastern SEC conference and beating Tennessee. Carson Beck threw for 298 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the Bulldogs to a 38-10 win over 21st-ranked Volunteers on Saturday. With the win, Georgia became the first team to go unbeaten in the SEC 3 years in a row since the league went to an 8-game schedule in 92. Georgia also tied Alabama twice for the longest winning streak in SEC history. D, you think that, as the SEC, the mighty SEC, is it overrated? I know some of the some of the SEC proponents, they will be, say that I'm blasphemous for saying that, but
you talk about the SEC?
Yeah, the mighty SEC.
Overrated? Nah. Well, yeah, I guess you might could say that. You might could say that, man. You look at that these what we got? Talk about after Georgia.
Yeah, after Georgia and Alabama.
Alabama 10-1, Missouri, and then after that it's Ole Miss, LSU 8-3. After that it's a drop off.
It's a significant drop off.
It's a drop off. So I mean, you only got. I mean, Georgia's head and shoulders above the rest, man.
100%.
So I mean, I don't see no let up. I see Georgia just. I don't see nobody just knocking them off the track. To be honest with you,
this will be 3 in a row.
Yeah,
and it's only a formality.
That's all we're doing. Yeah, they're just going out there and they're doing their thing. They're much better than everybody else. I don't see, we could talk about Ohio State. We could talk about Michigan. None of these teams, though, are, I think, built to hang with the Bulldogs, to be honest with you.
D,
nobody can hang with the Bulldogs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm out here feeling stupid because I'm here talking, having a real good soliloquy of what I'm saying. They said, oops. You've been dropped. I said, God damn, son of a.
Hey, we heard you backing out, man.
Yeah, we heard you backing out.
That's Kevin's car, the Lexus thing here, where everything you move, they make sure you're not running into something like I'm a goddamn retard. I've been driving for 40-some years, man. Shit, man. I know what goddamn.
Hey, watch that word, bro. We might get flagged, bro.
Oh, sorry. Black. Oh, I don't know what your boy did, but he got flagged.
Yeah, your boy.
No, stop.
Nah, we're not. Yeah, we not tried to reach out to the brother, but we wasn't good enough. We wasn't big enough. So
it's all good.
It's all good.
We wasn't Gucci enough to get down with that. So it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, my point is,
especially with Georgia. Like they are a machine. They have a really good team. Brock Bowers is back, and like they beat other good teams. Like other good teams aren't good,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
that's the thing that always, when I'm looking at the team, I'm like, wow, that's a pretty good team when they can do things like that. So, for me, looking at Georgia, I mean, and anybody can lose, right? Because this is a one game thing. This is not a
It's a
two,
fact.
3 game elimination. So anything can happen. But at present, as presently constructed, they're the best team in the league by, I'm not gonna say by far, but by a bit much, I think they are.
Yeah. Look, Kev,
Definitely.
you asked that question. Did you ask D?
Yeah, D. Is the SEC overrated, bro? Football wise.
They are every year. Yeah, they are every year because they are a top heavy league. So the top teams in the SEC are really good
Mm-hmm.
every year. So it's probably about four teams. I
4 or
think
5 teams.
Mississippi's good.
Ole
Yeah,
Miss.
Mississippi is good. Tennessee is not a bad team. Georgia's a good team. Of course, Alabama's a good team. Right? I'm probably missing somebody that's a pretty good team. That is probably ranked. So they usually have 4 or 5 teams that can
LSU.
really ball out. LSU, they usually have the talent. Man, shoot, yeah. They surprise me sometimes, but that may be coaching.
Auburn.
But
Auburn fell off.
Auburn's usually a good team. Yeah, they fell off. So when I say that, I say that to say that they're always a good top heavy league.
Yeah.
Their bottom teams are bad, like most leagues. Now this year, I think the Pac-10 is probably the best league top to bottom, I guess, of good teams. No, I don't think they don't have a team at the level of Georgia, but I think that Washington and Oregon are both pretty good teams. And I
Right.
think that both of those teams, depending on the situation, may give Georgia a good game. But like I said, man, I watched Oregon go to play Georgia. I think 2 years ago was the first game of the year, and everybody was hyped up, and Georgia beat them 55-3. So, not necessarily sure if what we see is what we, you're not going to get exactly what you may not get that. We may get that because it's at least until somebody proves us wrong. You know how it looks. It's always Texas is playing. They're gonna bust Alabama in the championship and Notre Dame, and they get there and get mollywomped, and you're like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did we lose D? It was the Dunkin' Donuts line. It sounds like.
Oh, he's at the vet. I don't know.
Yeah.
He might have made it to the vet with the dog.
is-
But yeah,
Go ahead.
Again, Georgia and everybody else, man. So until
Georgia and everybody else. You're right.
Until proven otherwise, man. That's how I'm rolling.
Let me just get this final game in. Arizona beat Utah 42-18. Arizona 17. Utah is 22. Fans streamed across the dual Pac-12 logo to join the players and celebrate Arizona's latest win over a ranked opponent. Headed the Big 12 next season, the Wildcats has quite a send-off in the final Pac-12 game at Arizona Stadium. Noah threw for 2 touchdowns, and number 19, Arizona used a fast start, beat number 16, Utah 42-18 on Saturday for its first 5-game winning streak in 9 years. So, both teams, Arizona is 8-3, Utah is 7-4. Like I said, the Pac-12 was a very I would say competitive league this year, as we can see from maybe not top to bottom, but it was competitive, needless to say. And I said that at the beginning of the year, and I said that how you had strong arms such as we talking about Arizona and Utah, but you look at Washington State. Washington, not Washington State, because I better not mention Washington State. I'm just saying.
Washington State?
Yeah.
No.
Washington State's not that bad, man.
Oregon, Washington, Michael Penix Jr. Again, he's gonna be my guy for MVP. I mean, not MVP, for Heisman. So we'll see.
Penix Jr.
We'll see. What's your thoughts about Penix Jr.? Excuse me, Michael Penix Jr. Yes.
So
Oh yeah.
So you
Good.
don't think that I think Washington State over the course of the year, I think Washington State over the course of the year didn't have a horrible team. Um, I think they were, sometimes overmatched. But you think about it, man. You got Washington State, Utah, which is a good team, right? It's just
Yeah,
Arizona
Utah's a good
jumped up
team.
on them real quick. So then you have UCLA, which are, I guess, above average teams, and USC, which may be an above average team. I don't,
Their
I
defense
don't know.
stinks, though. Their defense stinks. Yeah, their
Oh
defense
man,
is awful.
they don't play any D.
Yeah,
They don't
USC's
stink.
defense
They
is
don't
awful,
play
bro.
any.
And
They
they
don't play
fired
any
they
D.
fired the
But that
coordinator. Your man Lynn. Who's the coach there? Not Kiffin.
oh no,
What's
dude from Oklahoma, man.
yeah? He
He
fired the
supposed to be
D.
the kid, know everything, do it all. That come on, man. I hate that stuff, man. Mhm. You know me.
Well,
Let history tell the story, man. I'm not gonna overrate a coach before he gets there. And I think we all said this when coach was at Oklahoma, is that they didn't do anything else but play offense at Oklahoma. Like they didn't play any defense at Oklahoma at all. So when he was there, when this coach was at Oklahoma, they didn't play any defense. So shoot, and it's funny. I love defense so much. I remember the name of the defensive coordinator, who is who is the head coach there now, is the defensive coordinator from Clemson, Brenevels. He's actually the coach of Oklahoma today, and he's a defensive guy because
right.
they played no defense before at all. So
Gotcha.
I don't think it's going to work out for that coach in USC not playing any defense, but especially with them moving to the big whatever it's going to be now, right? I don't know what the hell they're going to call it now.
Big
The
10,
Big
Big
10,
20.
12, Big
I don't know. A bunch of people.
Big 10, 12, Big 12, 10.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go
Big
to the
12, 10,
last
Big
game.
22, Big 22.
Let me go to the last game here. Like I said, Washington clinches the Pac-12 with their victory over Oregon State. They beat them 22 to 20. According to the AP, while the final result felt a bit too close, number 5 Washington survived a wet and wild game against Oregon State to clinch his spot in the Pac-12 game. And like I said, Penix Jr. He threw 2 touchdowns. He tossed 2 touchdowns, and he was 13 of 28 for 162 yards. Like the AP alluded to, it was wet and rainy that whole game, and they got the victory, man. So they're on to the Pac-12 championship. So that should be very interesting, man. So I've been liking Michael Penix Jr. all year long and how he plays and how he balls out. I think he did an outstanding job. I think he should be up for Heisman considerations, but we'll see. As the DA dropped off again, your thoughts before we end this one, D.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's been playing phenomenal. I mean, all these quarterbacks. I mean, for the most part, I mean, he has some ups and downs. Penix Jr., Caleb Williams, my man, Bo, with Nick's Oregon.
Next, yeah.
What's that? A couple other guys.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting to see down the stretch. Some of these guys dropped off. Some of these guys, this game has a way of humbling you, and
Nope.
it is what it is.
Nope.
Nah, I mean it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Those teams are gonna have to answer for that. Colorado, they was riding high early. Oh well, they won 4 games. Well, I mean, listen, dude. So did the rest of the other coaches just won 4 games. I mean, for all the talk that was talking, you got 4 games. Well, it's better than 1. No kidding. We know that. But that's not the excellence that he was talking about. And if you ask him, it's 4 games, and but shout out, kudos. They will regroup and retool, hopefully. And first of all, just speaking on Colorado, man, that offensive line, man. I mean, that's just your quarterback can't get hit like that every
No,
and sustain. So
no,
but
not every game, and not to belabor, and DA's not on here too. Me and him was battling back the
all weekend.
all weekend on text thread. Like I said, talk ain't never win championships, man. Just coach.
Go out there and play the game.
Don't cash checks that your team can't.
And it's not even him. It's
Don't write checks that your
what's
team can't cash.
your boy
My thoughts.
Travis Hunter talking a lot. But I just said, some of these guys taking on the persona of the coach. And
And there's another team on the other side.
yeah, you gotta be careful, man. That's
Another team on the other side, and guess what? They have an ego too. They have a heartbeat too. And
now the trash talk is cool. It's fun.
It's cool.
But you better be able to back it up.
Yep.
That's all.
And these last couple of games, they've been getting their ass kicked.
You've been getting so
and they're gonna get it, and they're gonna get it kicked again against Utah.
Yeah. So hey. I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. On behalf of myself, Kevin Owan, your host and moderator. Hey, and D-Dub. Hey, we'll be back in about 5 minutes with the NFL, the fourth and short segment. So, on behalf of myself, I'm Kevin Owan, your host and moderator, for Darryl D-Dub Warren, for the DA, who's at the vet.
Vet man.
Yeah, he's at the vet. Shout out to my man DA and to all the rest of the guys. For Mike Mills, for the Angry One, and for Dan the Hockey Dude. Yo, this is the Sports Chasers podcast. Be good, be blessed. We'll see y'all guys in about 5 minutes with the NFL segment. All right, peace.